Extremely excited to welcome in a full house we got here in the studio. So many different representatives from Focus right here in Baltimore. We got Eric Brockman, who's the CEO. We got Philip Johnson, Melissa Davis, and Justin Goods, who are all student partners. Melissa, the director as well of Student Affairs for Focus. So really excited to get into this conversation here. So I'll start with you, Eric. As the CEO, for anybody who's never heard of Focus, who doesn't know what it is, why don't you just give them a brief overview of what you guys are all about?
First of all, I want to thank you so much for allowing us to come in and talk to you.
Sure.
And to spread light on Focus. Focus stands for Focus on Communities, United for Success. Focus on Communities, United for Success. Our mission is in our name. We are a generational wealth organization for the Black community. What we do is we provide free or no-cost IT training for certifications in the CompTIA certification arena. And we do job placement as well as community investment. That's Focus in a nutshell. So I brought up several of my students and who have gotten their certifications. They're working in the field now, and they have also become partners. This is the generational wealth part. They become partners of Focus where they are owners in our for-profit companies.
So there's a pathway here for people who become students to stick around in this Focus family and, like you said, become partners and kind of grow what exactly their involvement is in Focus, going from just a student to, like you said, being a part owner. And I want to get into that, but let's put a pin in that for right now. I want to approach the IT perspective of this whole thing, because IT is such a unique field, particularly in the fact that it's something that you can kind of teach yourself, right? You don't really need to be in a university. You don't need to get a degree to understand how to put code together, right? Or how to work in IT support. So how much of that went into the conception of Focus? Of, look, this is easily accessible work and skill training that people can get and take it into the workforce and say, look, maybe I didn't come from a top-of-the-line university. Maybe I don't have, X amount of years of professional training, but I can build you a website. Here's a whole list of ones that I built. Or, oh, you're having troubles? Well, let me troubleshoot it for you. I know exactly how to fix it. I can do it for you right now. So how much was the strategy behind Focus of, let's take a field that people can just teach themselves, or that we can teach them on a rather low budget and get them out into the workforce? I mean, what went into the strategy, the conception of Focus?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. I've been in the field nearly 40 years now. And when I started out, I have a bachelor's in computer science and mathematics. So when I started out in the IT field, they wanted degrees, and then they wanted certifications. So I started getting certifications. My salary jumped from $40,000 to almost $100,000.
Wow.
So I would say since the late '90s, I've never made anything under $100,000
Wow.
in the IT field. So what happened is that companies started clamoring for these certifications, individuals with the certifications. So they moved from having a degree with the certification to having a certification.
Just the certification.
Yeah, just the with a high school diploma and a certification. And now then they can still make between $60,000 and $100,000 in the field. So growing over the years, the transition from having a college degree to having a diploma, a high school diploma, and a certification has really started to take off. So hence Focus came about with creating, helping these young adults get these certifications so that they can fill the field of IT. And I was reading in 2024, there are going to be close to 200,000 jobs in the DMV area that these young people can fill. Right now, companies are bringing people from overseas to fill these positions, while our young people in the city are just washing car windows.
Sure, yeah.
When they can be training and being prepared for these IT jobs. They're very brilliant, very smart. They are textile. They do hands-on things, and so that's in a nutshell what Focus is all about. We want to attack that problem.
Absolutely, and I mean, it seems like again, we were just speaking to Ernestine Chambers in the last segment, and I talked a little bit about how she seemed like one of those folks who said, I see a problem that's happening in the community, or I see a need in the community. I'm just going to roll up my sleeves and do it myself. I'm not going to wait for the local government to do it. I'm not going to wait for the federal government. I'm not going to wait for some big nonprofit to come along and do it. I'm just going to do it myself. And let's just get the results. And it kind of seems like that's the vision here with Focus as well. So let's talk to some of the great student partners that you brought in here today as well. I'll tell you what, I'll start with you here, Philip. Philip Johnson, who's one of your great student partners. What drew you to Focus in the first place?
So you know how you say everything kind of happens for a reason,
Sure.
right? So I had already kind of been on like an IT kind of like career path, and I happened to find Focus like through a mutual friend. Shout out to the Audreys, who kind of posted it on their Facebook. And then that's what kind of led me to kind of fall into like the lap of Focus, where I kind of became like a student, went through like the A+ portion of like the test, so that way we could kind of get like my A+ certification. So that's kind of how like I kind of fell into it. So it's kind of changed my life in like a major way.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like what you just said, you were kind of already on this path, and what Focus offered you was a bit more stability, right? And a bit more of guidance of just like, hey, you're already on the right path. Let us just give you some resources to expedite that process a little bit and make it a little bit more clear. How different do you think your professional landscape of your future would look if you hadn't been working with Focus this whole time?
I would have been invisible.
Really?
I would have been absolutely invisible. So even before I got my certification, my A+, while I was still just a student and before I became an actual student partner, having the experience that I get through Focus, and that's kind of what separates Focus apart from like all these ones that you're paying $25, $100 for,
Sure.
You know what I mean? Where it's like these nuances that really kind of help me to shine as like an individual. So just kind of using that on my resume just as just basic training, not even before, the actual certification.
Sure.
I landed, a job, a detail, I would say, like as a functional coordinator,
Wow.
for the government. So that right there in itself, kind of helped to put my life on this trajectory where it's like, I have a voice now. Now you can see me because I have this title, I have this experience through like this actual like business that is trying to help and offer IT,
Sure.
training.
And are you from the Maryland area originally? From
Born and
Baltimore?
raised in Baltimore.
Really awesome.
Yeah,
So
born
I
and
mean,
raised.
you're kind of the living example here, and I'm so glad that we got multiple ones of you guys who are living examples of what the vision of Focus really is. I'll tell you what. I'll come over to you here, Justin. Justin Goods, who's another one of the student partners over at Focus. Kind of the same question for you. What drew you to Focus in the first place? What made you say I want to get involved with what they're doing?
Well, so first of all, hello everybody. My name is Justin Goods. I actually met Melissa out when I was networking, and she got me into one of the classes. And as I got to learn more about the organization, I recognized that the potential it has to create opportunity for so many people in our community. Because I taught myself how to program computers when I was 10 years old, but I did not have any opportunity. So I wound up joining the fire department and the police department. So I've had a lot of careers now. I'm repurposing myself to focus on IT and hopefully get a lot of our disenfranchised kids from the inner city the opportunities that they
And
deserve.
when you were working with the fire department and the police department, was that in an IT capacity?
It was not.
Oh, okay,
No,
wow.
I was actually a firefighter and police officer. I did IT related things at times in those departments. However, I still didn't have the backing or official credentials
Sure.
to pursue something of that fashion.
And how did Focus change that for you?
They provided the opportunity for.
And for so many people, it's kind of like a cliche, but that opportunity, just getting offered that opportunity in the first place, is sometimes all people really need to overhaul the direction that their life is going, and just in a professional sense, going from working in the fire department, going from working in the police department to like, now I'm a full-blown IT guy, right? I mean, that's a pretty big overhaul to make in someone's professional life, and again, you're the living embodiment that's kind of possible. So my follow-up question to that is, how big of a transition was that for you? And was it anxiety-ridden? Were you just excited to say, this is what I want to do, and now I have the credentials and the stability to really make the move forward? What was that transition like of going from, kind of more blue-collar work to going into this world of IT?
It's a lovely transition, and Focus made it extremely easy to do so, even to the point. So I've done real estate also. I've been in home inspection. I'm just a serial entrepreneur. I've owned several businesses to the point where I've actually I'm beginning to shut down my current business just to focus on Focus.
Wow, and that's awesome stuff right there. You wrote that down before he came in. You wrote that down before he came in here. He was waiting for that one. I'll tell you what, let's hop over to Melissa here, who's a student partner and also the Director of Student Affairs. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that role of Director of Student Affairs? Because it sounds like you've really committed yourself to the overall idea and vision of Focus, and I'm curious why. But before we get into that, just tell us about your job as a Student Affairs Director.
It's exciting. I'm getting to be able to figure out what type of curriculum our students will need, figure out their learning styles, and make sure we cater to different learning styles, as well as understand that ages from 18 to 36. There's a range of different type of people in their lifestyle, what they need, and also finding out exactly what they will need for the community. If you need assistance, just making sure we're a whole wraparound and we're able to get you focused so you can focus on passing these exams, but also help you in the long run with generational wealth.
And so, sticking on that point right there of kind of wrapping around folks here, how important is it to you to not just kind of be a certification factory, right? Where you come in, we'll teach you everything you need, you take the test, and then get the heck out of here, because we got more people coming in. How important is it that you really are fostering a community at Focus, and you're not using these people again just to say, look at all the certifications we got, but to really make genuine connections with these people and say, this is a place where you can come, where you can find support, where you can find people who really do care about you, and we want you to set yourself up for the most lucrative and the most comfortable life that you can have in the future after you leave Focus, if that day does come. So how important is the personal connection aspect of what you guys do at Focus?
It's very important, and that's why we hone in on the student partnership. We just want to let you know that we're not going to just, get you certified and get you out of here. We want to let you know you're a part of a family, you're a part of a business. We help you with your business. One of our companies is community development. So if you are entrepreneur at heart and you want to do something on your own, we're here to offer you funding through the company and, share the wealth as a family.
And I think that's just wonderful. I think that's critical as well to what you guys are doing, because it's about more, than just the concrete goal. It's about, like you said, wrapping around these folks and saying, hey, we have a community here for you, right? And I'll come back to you here, Eric. When you hear all these people talk, right? When you hear all these great young people talk about the experiences that they've had at Focus and the opportunity that Focus has offered to them, do you ever have an opportunity to kind of just step outside yourself for a second and say, we're doing the dang thing?
Man, this is a 30-year vision. I've been working on this vision, and now we're here. And my heart is so full. I give all glory to God for giving me the strength to not give up. There's plenty of times I wanted to give up, but I kept pressing my way. And I'm just so proud of my students and what they accomplished. We've trained a lot of students over the years. But there are just that few, that remnant that sticks with it and stays with it. And now Melissa has had the chance to meet the Lieutenant Governor, shake her hand, and talk to her about the program. We are funded by Able Foundation, the Weinberg Foundation, Comcast, all of these different organizations. We have a partnership with the Reginald F. Museum. We're going to be doing training there starting in July. By the way, please go to our website, focusorg.org, to sign up for the training. But these are things that have happened and matriculated over the years by pressing my way through the process. And now I have my vision is to turn the organization over to these individuals. It's always good to bring up young people, so when I transition, they can transition into the role. It's all about our focus. It's not about self-enrichment. It's about community enrichment. If you heard of Rosedale and where the black community was burned down, we want to build that community back in Baltimore area, and then we want to expand out. The thing is that we need talented people that have the skill set to do business development, accounting, the legal aspect of it. So far I've been doing a lot of the legal things in county and stuff, but I'm a technician. I'm a computer scientist. I'm not skilled in those areas, but I've learned those areas. Now I have a group of individuals that can share. They can share their wealth, and they can help and all of those things. So that's it just fills my heart. I'm excited about the future for these young people. I just want to pour into them. I found my purpose, and they are my purpose.
And let's get into the core of all this, right? If somebody is listening to this and they say, maybe I want to go get my IT certification, and maybe I want to do it through Focus, what does the process of becoming an IT certified person, whether it's in C++, whether it's an A+, whatever it may be, what does that process look like for people? What should people expect if they're going in rather dry? If they just have an interest in IT and they're a young person, they say, this is what I want my career to look like over the next few years. What should they expect out of that process?
Well, the first thing they have to do is go to our website, focusorg.org, apply. And then when they apply, they'll receive a letter from us saying that we received your application. And then they'll go through an interview process. We'll interview them, talk to them about what their interest is. It's nothing to be scared about.
Sure.
We just want to talk to them and see what their interest is and what they want to do, right? What type of career path that they look in. A lot of people want to get into cybersecurity, but they want to get into cybersecurity without understanding the foundation of computers. So A+ is the foundation. And matter of fact, they got these. Yes, exactly. My students here, they have their A+. Now I'm training them cybersecurity. This is a lifetime program. Once you get your first certification, you're in the program from life. So you can come back and get certified in any field that that you want to be certified in. So the next step is, once you do the interview process, it's a panel interview. We'll discuss on the merits of the individual, whether they would be a good fit for the program, and then they'll get selected. Once they get selected, we'll have them come in to an orientation. We'll show them, we have videos and things like that to show them what the program is all about, and to let them understand it's more than just an IT training program. It's a generational wealth building program, and it's a lifetime program. So if you have the perseverance to finish the program, you'll be sitting in the seats like Melissa and Phil and Justin, right? So once they get are selected, they do go through the orientation process. Then we get books and computers and things like that for them, and then we start the training process. One of what makes Focus training different is that we do collaborative training, where we put individuals in a group, and that group is supposed to be designed to support each other. And then we have competitions against the different groups, and the competitions is terminology and building projects. Like I think it was one, Phil,
where we had to put the laptop together. So essentially what we had to do is we had to take apart an entire tower computer. So we took out the motherboards, took out like the RAM, took off like
all of the parts. It's bare bones.
Yeah, bare bones. And then we left for the day. And then after we left, to kind of refresh everybody's mind, then on the next class, that's when everybody came in, and at the start of class, we all sat and put the tower together.
Wow.
Then what we did after we put it together, we had to plug it up to a monitor to make sure that it actually worked. And that was kind of like the kicker, because we didn't like unplug it from a tower that was already plugged up. We just sat down and had a tower, and he was just like, take it apart. And we were like, cool. So then like we all started taking it apart, and he was like, sweet, now we're gonna have the competition. So we come in the next day, put it all together, and then plug it back up, and then see who could actually turn on and have a functioning computer.
Wow. I mean, so it's kind of just this all-encompassing. We want you to really understand at its basic core what this field is about, and we'll build from there, right?
Exactly.
And I mean, that seems like such a great approach. I could talk to you guys for the next 2 hours, to be honest with you. But we got another interview, we got a commercial that we got to hit here in just a couple of minutes. And do me a favor, keep Phil in the IT business. Keep him out of radio, because I might not have a job with that voice this guy's got over here. This dude is great. All right, I'll tell you what, thank you so much for all you guys coming in. My man Justin, thank you so much for coming in. This dude seems like he's an absolute workhorse in the building here. I mean, he said that he had to axe off some businesses so he could focus on his new businesses and focus on Focus, right? So you guys got a great one here, Melissa, the vision that she's offering and the warmth that she's offering to so many of the people that come through Focus. I can already see it in my mind's eye right now. So thank you so much for giving me a glimpse of that today by coming in. I really, really appreciate it. And Eric, I mean, this whole beautiful thing that you're throwing together here, this vision. I just, as a lifelong Baltimorean myself, I'm just so happy that we have something like this here in the city. And I talk about a whole lot, particularly in the realm of politics. It feels like we got a bit of a moment happening here in Baltimore. You know, when you see a lot of the new faces we have and a lot of leadership positions from here in the city to down in Annapolis and in the governor's mansion as well. Feels like we have a bit of a moment here in Baltimore, and it feels like the comeback, if everything falls in line, could really be on the horizon here. And I think you guys are going to be a critical part of that. So thank you so much for coming in, and more importantly, thank you for the great work that all you guys are doing here in the community for you know, people like yourselves and younger people who are coming up behind you. It's really, really, really important. I can't emphasize that enough. So thank you so much. Philip Johnson, Eric Brockman, Justin Goods, and Melissa Davis, all from Focus. If you want to get more information about how you can join the team, how you can donate to all the great stuff they're doing, or if you or somebody you know might benefit from joining the Focus family and taking advantages of some of the service and training that they're offering, head over to focusorg.org. Focusorg.org, spelled exactly the way that it sounds. Focusorg.org is the place to go to get more information about all the great stuff that they're offering. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.